Fire when ready.
You are on. Call to order. Roll call vote. Mr. Jacobs?
Here.
Mr. Hickey?
Here.
Mr. Strackhoff?
Here.
Mr. Delius?
Here.
Mr. Leonard?
Here.
Mr. DiGiovanni?
Here.
Mr. Travaglini and Ms. Petrus are absent, as are Ms. Christie and Mr. Zupnik. Chairman Gutschall?
Here.
Thank you. The adequate notice of this meeting of the Bedminster Township Land Use Board was filed with the Township Clerk and sent to the Burnetsville News and the Courier News and to all subscribers, and posted here at the Municipal Building as of January 11th, 2019.
Please stand. Flag salute.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have minutes to approve from our March 7th meeting. If you've had time to look at those. Do I hear a motion?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Anyone opposed? Abstain? Yes, we're okay. We have some correspondence. We have a request for an extension for the approval for the Cancer Support Community of Central Jersey. They want to extend, I guess, for another 12 months, another year. If we have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Roll call?
Roll call vote. Mr. Jacobs?
Aye.
Mr. Hickey?
Aye.
Mr. Strackhoff?
Aye.
Mr. Delius?
Aye.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Mr. DiGiovanni?
Aye.
Chairman Gutschall?
Aye.
Thank you.
We have another letter for the extension of the MIREF, M-I-R-E-F, approval, and that is also for a one-year extension. If I hear a motion for that.
I just have a question. What are the two approvals? Is that the parking lot configuration?
That's the parking lot.
That was the 2016 one. What was the 2018 one?
Well, it was,
I think it's already been extended.
oh, it was just
hasn't it?
another extension.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, this was just a reconfiguration of parking lot to get more spaces because they have more employees than a typical tenant now.
Okay. That was my only question.
So,
Okay. You're okay?
I'll make the motion.
Okay.
Second.
Again, roll call vote. Mayor Jacobs?
Aye.
Mr. Hickey?
Aye.
Mr. Strackhoff?
Aye.
Mr. Delius?
Aye.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Mr. DiGiovanni?
Aye.
Chairman Gutschall?
Aye.
Thank you.
We have a letter from the Historic Commission. I have it here somewhere. They're requesting us to consider, I guess, a change in the ordinance. I don't know what should we do with this,
well,
Tom?
I think we need to, well, unless everybody understands it in detail, I think we need to have maybe Frank and his staff just look at it, look at the existing ordinance. Like, I'm not really certain that these things are permitted anyway, but I guess I'd like to find out, you know, like compare what the requested changes to what the existing is.
Yeah,
and
right.
What is the real problem out there, if
Uh-huh.
there is a problem. And-
Right.
But only if you, the board and the committee, want to study it. So it's like, this is your direction, whether you want us, when you went, Frank, to, just.
Well, I know it was
basically-
brought to our attention prior, and we hadn't made any real effort to do anything.
So you might-
And
I don't want to say, I don't have an inclination or a recommendation.
Right.
If you don't want to do anything, then.
so I did catch the end of the Historic Preservation Committee meeting when they were actually
Discussing it.
discussing this.
Uh-huh.
And they're pretty worked up about it, as frankly, a fair number of folks in town have been about the expansion and the multiplying of those we're going to call them the flag signs, banner flag signs. Sean Blinn in this memorandum refers to them as feather signs or feather banners or feather flags. We all know what they are.
Yeah,
You
right.
see them by the Quick Check, you see them by the nail salons, you see them by the pizza places, you see them a couple times at the pizza places, maybe 3 or 4 times at the pizza places.
Right.
We've sent, I believe, the current allowance in our ordinance is one flag per lot. So if you have a lot that might have a shopping center, presumably that would be one, but you're seeing, one store might have pizza, breakfast, coffee, nail salon might have nails, manicure, something else, and you're just seeing more and more of those signs coming up. So it's something that we've looked at we've been sending the enforcement out there, and I'm not sure, Judy, if they've actually taken action other than issuing notices.
Notices have been issued, I'm not sure
Notices.
about penalties.
Yeah, so the notice has been sent out. But anyway, independently, the Historic Preservation Commission took issue with the amount of flags going up, and they took it amongst themselves to propose some changes. They presented it to the Township Committee, and we, from the Township Committee, kicked it right back here to the Planning Board for review and consideration. And Rich, we're discussing the flag signs,
Flag signs.
something that Rich and I have talked about in the past as well. So it's here?
Yeah, I have a couple comments regarding that. My understanding is that, I think I might have asked someone in town, and I can't remember who it was, this particular flag sign, the way it's designed and the size of it, somehow slips between the cracks of our ordinance and is not fully addressed in the ordinance. So I think there's probably a good reason to address this particular kind of sign, because when the ordinances were written, we didn't even have these kind of signs. That's my first comment. My second comment is that out in front of Quick Check right now, they have 3 of them. Many of them are worn, dirty, and old, and shredded. So I don't think it's fits the neighborhood in a sense. And the other comment I have as a business owner and a property owner in the village neighborhood is that I think all people should follow some standard of compliance when it comes to codes. So I don't think that we would want every business owner in town to put one of these banner signs out there in front of every one of their businesses. I think that would be a problem. So I'm in favor of creating some kind of ordinance to address this issue.
Okay.
Any other comments from the board?
I guess I do have one question is, this is narrowly defined as feather flags, but
Yeah.
there's a whole class of inflatables with, the
Yeah.
flopping arms.
Yep.
Are those precluded right now? Do we need to extend the definition of this to capture those? Because we might just be swapping out one for another.
Right, right.
Yeah, right.
Well, I think we should have Frank look at it.
I agree.
How does everybody else feel about that?
Agreed.
Have that?
Absolutely. I think there's a couple of distinctions to be made when we talk about, a permanent sign. I don't know that we need to, we maybe need to look at our permanent signage ordinance otherwise. But I think these types of signs do fill some kind of temporary need. If you're opening your business, we want to give people the permission to do this kind of thing for 30 days, 60 days, whatever the heck we decide is reasonable. There's a place for this kind of signage. But as Lou's describing, these signs go up, they never come down, they're tattered, they're worn, they look horrible.
Right.
But the proliferation of them is one thing that we need to control. The maintenance of them is something else that needs to be controlled. If they're not a permanent sign that, has to meet our ordinance's regulations otherwise, we need to address these. The inflatables, I think, we probably want to eliminate them altogether. What are we, an amusement park suddenly?
Well, perhaps even a temporary opening sign.
Well, it's actually, I believe the ordinance is for temporary signs.
Well, let me read what the ordinance says about flags.
Okay.
There you go. It says, "One flag of generic design or logo with a maximum dimension of 15 square feet, in addition to the other permitted signs, is allowed provided the flag or its support does not intrude on any driveway, walkway, stairway, sidewalk, or egress path, or does not create a danger to pedestrians or vehicle traffic. No permit is required. So that says it can be, if it's less than 15 square feet, it can be permanent.
Permanent?
Yes.
Really? Oh, I thought there was a temporary, I thought there
There's a
was...
separate section for temporary signs, for temporary commercial signs. That's a different
Okay.
section. But
Different thing.
this is specifically flagged.
And these are less than 15 square feet, or-
But this says it has to be less than 15 square feet anyway.
right, but these feather flag things are less than that.
Right, but that would be regulated by this. If it was more than 15 square
Oh,
feet, it would not be permitted. This permits less than 15 square feet.
Okay.
But it's one, right? It's One.
One.
Can't interfere with those
And-
places, those walkways, driveways. So it can't have three.
And, yeah, for a while, I mean, we also, Desiderios had 3.
Yeah.
Can't have more than one. Has to comply with that.
Well, Desiderios does 3, and then Bedminster Pizza feels like they need to do 2, and...
Well, yeah, but that's
Then they
just an
outdo
enforcement
themselves.
problem, not an ordinance problem, unless you do not want them at all, which is this proposal, none.
Well,
So
there is
don't
a,
think, it's okay for that one, but not okay for that one. You have to think,
right,
where is it okay at all?
Yeah,
And how many, and right now it's one.
well,
And I think when this was written, they were talking about flags.
and rectangular.
regular flags.
Flag,
Yeah,
But,
right, not
you know,
feather flags,
It has now morphed.
right.
Right, so,
And it's a way to skirt the ordinance. so.
And part of this, the logic behind it, I believe, was, you see car dealerships and they have these enormous American flags, and nobody's going to prohibit an American flag, but they get to a certain size. And this was kind of saying you can have something up to 15 square feet.
Is it really the appearance of this one sign, or is it the proliferation of the signs and their locations?
They multiply.
Paul, can you read that again? Is it 1 per lot, or is it 1 per business?
Well, what it says is one flag of generic design or logo, in addition to the other permitted signs, is allowed. Doesn't say per lot.
Okay.
It might
Yeah.
be per town.
Yeah,
As a business owner, I actually took advantage of that, and when I first opened up, I had a banner outside, but it was attached to the building.
Well, that's
It was set-
different.
Set back away.
That's-
Yeah, that-
There is a banner.
There is a temporary commercial sign for just that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I somehow followed the ordinance, but I think this.
Sure you read it very
Embarrassing. I think you said you wisely followed the ordinance?
But anyway, I think this feather flag somehow squeezes between all these ordinances.
Well, it's a flag.
yeah.
But it's a flag, and it's less than 15 square feet. It's-
Well, is it a flag or is it a sign?
Well, it's irrelevant. It's a flag. It's a flag. And I think what the HPC is doing is kind of redefining flag. Which may be the way to deal with it. I don't know. But I think it
So
requires
really,
some work.
the issue tonight is, do you want to have Frank look at this?
That's where we're back to.
Give you
So,
ideas?
I think we should.
I would.
Can we give him a deadline?
What did, does HBC have the jurisdiction?
No, that's up to you. I just be careful. One thing to realize is, you're not going to regulate the American flag, okay? That's not going to happen. It's not a good idea. That's not the issue, okay?
No,
So
I don't
we're
think
clear
so.
on the record.
Just advertising.
People get very upset about that.
Tom, are you aware of other towns having restricted or forbade those type of feather flags?
I'm not aware of anybody really prohibiting them, but they're probably not permitted to many places. Well, I am aware that many towns do something different, but I don't think this is the idea, which is to regulate and allow sandwich board signs of a certain character and size for daily specials and things like that in town centers. This is not that.
Yeah, we're about to put farmers market sandwich boards up all over town, so.
But we have,
That's a sacrosanct activity.
we have that in the ordinance too. I'm pretty sure the sandwich boards are.
That's it covered on the temporary commercial. Yeah.
Would they need a variance to do anything more than 16 square feet?
Yes.
Depends on the zone.
50.
Yeah.
More than- For the flag, they need variance.
But the flags can be almost as big as the permanent sign that...
It's bigger.
We gotta change it.
Flag is bigger.
We gotta change it.
Well, no, 15 square feet
15
though.
is less.
Is it 15 or 12?
Are you concerned about the height?
That's a good question. I don't remember.
They may be 15 square feet.
Yeah,
That would be 15 by 1 or 7 by 2?
My point is, Quick Check, it's got, I
Three of
don't
them.
know, almost
Yeah, but they-
8,000 square feet. They got a 2 by, 4 sign over the building, or 2 by 8 sign for 16 square feet. The nail polish place leases 1,500 square feet. They got the sign over their door and 17 banners sticking in the grass.
Well, that's not,
We need to address
that's
it.
more than one.
We
Well,
need
it's all right, that's an enforcement problem.
We need to address it.
It's plural.
Yeah, I think so too. So I think everybody's in agreement, we should give this to Frank to look at, and let's do it. I think we've pushed
Okay,
it
so-
down the pike far enough, and it's time to do it.
So
So,
motion to authorize and direct Frank Banish to review the current ordinance, compare with this proposal, and give you any advice he has.
okay, we need a motion.
Motion.
Second.
That was Mr. Travaglini?
Yep.
Who was
Second by me.
Okay, I don't know everybody's voices yet. So we'll do a roll call vote, would be Mr. Jacobs?
Aye.
Mr. Hickey?
Aye.
Mr. Stracco?
Aye.
Mr. Redelius?
Aye.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Mr. DeGreen?
Aye.
Mr. Travaglini?
Aye.
And Chairman Gunn?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, we will, we have a resolution yet for Country Club 305. Has everybody had a chance to look at that?
Yep.
We need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Again, roll call.
Roll call?
Okay. Mr. Jacobs?
Aye.
Mr. Hickey?
Aye.
Mr. Stracco?
Aye.
Mr. Redelius?
Aye.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Mr. DeGreen?
Aye.
Mr. Travaglini?
Aye.
And Chairman Gunn?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll open it up to the public. If there's anything here that's not on the agenda you'd like to discuss? Seeing nothing, we'll close that part. And we can go now to our hearing. Jesper Ferrera. Okay.
Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Sir, I'll swear in any witnesses who will be testifying for the applicant. I can swear them all in at once, okay? So please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? I do. Please state your names and addresses and spell your last name.
Gaspar Ferrara, 57 Draycote Road, Lighthouse Station, New Jersey. Ferrara. First name Gaspar, G-A-S-P-A-R.
James Madsen, M-A-D-S-E-N, Akbar Associates, 13 Lund Place, Far Hills, New Jersey, professional engineer.
Madam Chair, for the record, I have no relation to the applicant. One of us spells our name wrong.
Okay.
I'm not sure which one it is.
Okay. We'll take your word for it.
And we'll confirm for the record too that we recognize and accept James Madsen's qualifications as a professional engineer. And I should swear in our replacement planner for the evening. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name and address for the record, and business address is sufficient, and please spell your last name.
Sure, Joanna Slagle from Banish Associates, Flemington, New Jersey. Last name is Slagle, S as in Sam, L-A-G-L-E.
Thank you. Please go ahead.
May I proceed? My
Yeah.
name is Alan Welch. I'm with the law firm of Welch, Nash, Inzanelli in Somerville. And I've been retained by Mr. Ferrara on behalf of his LLC, which is known as the 1610 Black River LLC, of which he is the managing member. I'm going to make my presentation in about 2 minutes, because that's really all you want to hear from me, I'm sure, maybe even less. First of all, Madam Chairperson and members, thank you for giving up your valuable time to be hearing this application. We'll try to keep it pointed and short so that you can understand exactly what is involved without having to do an awful lot of searching for it. This regards 1610 Black River Road, it's lot 24.05. Block 8 on the tax map. Just by way of aside, if Madam Secretary would confirm that I provided you with the
Yes, sir.
publication necessary for this meeting pursuant to your ordinance requirements as of this evening. Thank you. This is under the Bedminster Township Land Management Ordinance. This is a home that was built in the late 1800s. I've had the honor of looking at it and observing it and being very happy with old stuff. I'm one of those old stuff kind of people, so I like to see old stuff that's been maintained, and that's what the Ferraras have done without question on this particular purchase. Unfortunately, because it was built in the late 1800s, it's a little bit prior to our Land Use Act, and it is 36.67 feet from the road at this point. It constitutes a non-conforming dimensional use. The zoning ordinance calls for 200 feet setback in an R10 zone in which it is situate. The LLC, through Mr. Ferrara and Mr. Mattson, is seeking from this board a dimensional variance to construct a two-car garage and a pantry mudroom. It certainly is not going to in any way continue the encroachment or exacerbate the encroachments. It can be on the other side of the building. And we feel that it's a hardship. There's not much more that they can do if they're going to provide what is typically a utilization of a two-car garage and a pantry and mudroom in a typical residential home. They're seeking this dimensional variance to construct. I'll have Mr. Ferrera tell you what he has in mind as far as the actual construction. It's only to the rear of the property. You'll hear some testimony about the fact that it's heavily wooded and really is not going to be any kind of an observable change in what has already been in existence for many, many, many years. That's all I have. I want to thank the board and Madam Chairman again for hearing us. And now I'd like to ask just a couple of very pointed questions, Mr. Ferrara, if you would allow us.
Sure.
You're already sworn in, Mr. Ferrara. You are representative of 1610 Black River LLC, is that right?
I am.
Managing member?
Yes.
And are you familiar very specifically with the property located at 1610 Black River Road in Bedminster?
Yes.
It's also known as Lot 24.05 and Block 8 on the tax map, is that right?
Correct.
And this application is made pursuant to the Township Land Management Ordinance, correct?
Correct.
When was this property built to the best of your knowledge, belief, and understanding?
Boy, I don't know, maybe in the 1800s.
Okay.
And it is a 10-acre lot.
And how long-
Unfortunately, the house is right on the road.
How long have you owned it?
I've owned it for about 6 years.
And when you first purchased it, did you do anything with regard to construction at all on the property?
No, maintained it,
Okay,
maintenance.
okay, and obviously left all the trees where they are, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. You understand that it constitutes a non-conforming use given the current zoning?
Correct.
Calls for a 200-foot setback and an R10, correct?
I do.
And you're about 37 feet away.
Yes.
Just in your words, tell us what the variance is that you're looking for and what you plan to do with it if granted.
Well, we're looking to build a two-car garage and a small mudroom, so my wife can park her car in there and walk through the house instead of parking in the driveway in inclement weather. I think it's just a normal necessity that is needed, and unfortunately, it does not conform to the use. And that's what we're asking you guys today. And it is going on the other side of the house, towards the back of the property,
Right.
towards the 10 acres.
Tell us about the wooded area of that particular lot and that particular site where
There's actually not that much wooded area. It's actually farm assessed, and we hay on it. There is some wooded, if you're looking at the property on the right hand, there's some woods, and towards the back of the property is some woods. But the immediate area, the whole, where the house is on and the rear of the lot is pretty much all open.
In my prophetic opening, I had suggested that you were going to remain in the older version of the actual building of it, pursuant obviously to the construction code. What do you have in mind?
Well, it's, I don't know if you guys know, but I've been working with Ed O'Brien, architect, and he's very good at maintaining the historic of these old houses, which I like to do as well. So we're gonna make it look just like the house. You're gonna, after we're done with this, you're not even gonna notice the difference. It's gonna maintain the old look of the house. It's not gonna be a big gaudy garage or anything like that. It's gonna maintain the history of the house.
I don't think that the construction officials would allow a gaudy garage.
Right. You never know what people think and what they wanna do.
Do you wish to add anything that you would want the board to hear from you?
I think I'm good. I think you guys understand where we're coming from, I hope.
Does the board members have any
Questions?
questions of Mr. Ferrera regarding his testimony, or for that matter, his application?
I have a question.
Board? Yes, Lou?
In addition to the addition, are you going to be upgrading the house exterior in any way, changing the appearance of the house?
No, the only thing it's gonna need an entire, after I'm done with the garage, it's gonna need an entire new roof, and the outside of the house is gonna be painted, and maybe some new landscaping. That's about it.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Your driveway will remain the same?
The
Gravel?
driveway will remain the same. We're thinking of maybe paving it.
Maybe.
Because yeah.
So you know exactly how old the house was?
I really don't. I know it's old. The Morgan Stanley family used to own it years and years ago. I really don't know, but it's old. It's an old house.
And how many bedrooms is it today?
It's 3 bedrooms. I believe it's 3 bedrooms, yes. I haven't lived in the house yet.
Approximately how much square footage?
Do we know that?
Maybe they'll come from the next.
Mr. Mattson will be testifying.
Yeah.
Perhaps if you have technical questions, if you would hold them for him.
Yeah.
But by all means, anything as far as the construction of what's posed,
It's the exterior shiplap and the
Yes, it is.
garage will be shiplap?
Yes, we're gonna match whatever's on the house with new material, but it's gonna match what's on the house.
You're not going to need to remove any, very many trees, if any at all.
None, not one.
To do this
No,
work.
not one tree.
Let me open it up to the public.
I
Any?
have a-
Oh, I'm sorry, you can go right ahead.
Oh, it's the blue house.
Excuse me?
You got the blue house.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, the big blue house. Yeah.
I noticed the new garage, or I guess it's the only garage, the entrance is sort of,
That's a barn. You're talking about the...
no,
Oh, you're talking about the...
garage you're building.
Yes, okay.
The entrance is kind of, I don't know how to describe it,
You're gonna-
parallel to the house.
It's going in back of the house, but it's coming out a little bit, so you're gonna see
Yeah.
the 2-car garage from the road.
The doorway is coming in this
yes,
way.
yes, it is.
I was wondering why, it seemed more natural to me to come in that way, you'd have more room.
Coming from the rear, Nick, you mean?
Yeah, come in from the rear sort of.
Versus the side, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's your call, I don't think it
Yeah.
matters to us.
I'll look into that, because sometimes I don't like seeing garage doors from the street.
I'm guessing the only reason
But
they
this is
probably
in the
did
back.
that, Nick, is it looks like there's a hill there. Maybe it's because there's a hill.
there might be a
You look at the-
topographical issue
There
there.
may be,
Yeah.
Look at the
Mr. Mattson may be able to help us with that.
It is a little hill.
It might be wide, yeah.
Okay, well,
Anyone else from the board? All right, I'm going to open it up to the public if they have any questions. Comments? No? Seeing none? Okay.
That's all I have of Mr. Ferrera. Mr. Ferrera, could you have a seat back and have Mr. Mattson perhaps testify so he use the microphone? Sure. You took 3/4 of my questions away when you said that you already would qualify Mr. Mattson as an expert in it. You sure you don't want me to go through my litany? You're positive you don't?
we forgive you.
Yes.
I have to flip my pages here.
Well, you want me to just start?
No, I want you to wait. I'm going to get paid for this, okay? Before I haven't earned anything.
I'll keep my mouth shut.
No, I don't want you to do that. In providing the concept plot plan that the members have had a chance to review for the proposed building addition to 1610 Black River LLC, did you consult with or assess the township building code?
Yes, I did.
And did you use any other documentation or to facilitate the concept plot plan on file?
I looked at the state mapping.
Okay.
see if there are any wetlands or...
And were there?
waters. There are wetlands, but not within 150 feet of the property or what's being proposed on the site.
So there's no interference or encroachment?
No, there is not.
Did you do the actual field study with regard to providing a concept plot plan?
I physically wasn't out there, but someone from our firm was out there doing the surveying.
And you put everything together for us tonight?
Yes.
Tell the board in summary terms exactly what the applicant is looking for regarding lot 24.05, block 8.
Well, the existing house on the property, it's actually 36.67 feet to the right-of-way, not to the roadway, I think is what you
I did, I misspoke.
And it's approximately 61 feet to the edge of pavement. The applicant is proposing to construct a modest addition to the home. It consists of about 946 feet between the garage, the mudroom, and the pantry. That will be located on the east side or the rear of the house, further away from the right-of-way line.
Do you have any comment on the question that was asked by the board member, which was a very pertinent question as to the actual location of the two-car garage?
I believe it was the topography which suggested...
The hill?
Yeah, the garage doors being placed where they are.
And now I note under your notes on the map itself, there exists a cross driveway access easement?
There is, yes.
Could you be more specific as to what that is?
Another driveway that provides access to the Singh property to the rear.
It's got to be one.
Lot 24.12. And it's a reciprocal easement. Access could also be obtained to this particular lot across that driveway. But, I mean, as you can see, it's easier just to come right off of Black River Road to where the house is located now, as opposed to traversing the Singh driveway and going up through their vineyard and then back into this particular property.
Could you spell that last name? Sorry. Singh?
Singh, S-I-G-N-H.
S-I-G-N-H. But that common driveway exists and has been in existence for some time.
I think it was created by the Stanleys, the former owners of the property.
And the specific proposed parameters with regard to square footage, do you have that at all, Jim?
Well, as I said, the addition is about 946 square feet. The existing house has approximately 2,700 square feet. So after the applicant constructs the new addition, the total would be just a little over 3,000 square feet. In terms of FAR, the existing FAR is 0.62%. Upon completion of the addition, I think it goes up to about 0.69.
I just want to go back to something that I perhaps had misspoken in my brief opening. And that is, we have distance to the road of 36.67 feet, but you had interposed another suggestion that we're talking about a right-of-way. Would you be more specific as to what we're talking about as far as the dimensions?
Well, there is a right-of-way that is on either side of Black River Road.
Right.
It's approximately 25 feet out of center line of road, I believe. It's probably depicted on our site drawing. But the actual measurement is given to the right-of-way, which is owned by the applicant, and that is 36.67 feet.
And on your plan that has been submitted, there are various lot coverage calculations. Do you want to go over those?
Certainly, the existing lot coverage is 3.3%, where 5% is allowed within the R10 zone. If the addition is constructed, that would increase to 3.51%, still under the 5% allowed. That also includes the driveway to the Singh property.
And there's also a proposed porch. Is that at any structural aspect to it? Is that as far as dimensional?
It's a roofed area, and it was included in the overall additional square footage.
That's part of what you've already testified to, is to the
Yes.
specific amount? What changes to the walkways will occur, if any?
I don't believe there will be any, because I think the driveway will be enlarged to accommodate the garage doors as they're positioned and provide backup area from those.
I assume you had an opportunity to review the township engineer's review of this application?
Actually, was there, did you have a memo?
Yes.
No, I didn't see it.
You didn't miss much.
I would say seething report.
There are really two comments.
Yeah.
The first one is just a note that the project is under the threshold for a stormwater project, so there's no stormwater required. And the second one was just a comment that there's a rear door exit to the building, it should have some sort of a concrete super pad behind it.
Isn't
That's
that
going to be the
architectural?
minimus change to the coverage.
That's not architectural?
Would be on site.
Well, certainly you would comply with Mr. Ferrero's comments.
And there was a request that there be a comment, either by yourself or Mr. Ferraro with regard to the negative and positive aspects. Do you have a response to that inquiry?
I shall try. Just given the location of the home on the lot, there's no location adjoining the house where an addition could be constructed to meet the 200-foot setback. Now, the proposed variance for the proposed rear addition in the front yard setback will benefit the purposes of the zoning by providing for a modest and reasonable improvement to an existing single-family home in the R10 zone district. Proposed addition to the rear of the existing home will be in keeping with the character of the home and the surrounding neighborhood. The front yard setback encroachment will not cause a substantial detriment to the public good and will not substantially impair the intent and purpose of the ordinance. The benefits of the proposes of the zoning will outweigh the detriments. The granting of the relief requested will promote a desirable visual environment with the proposed addition to the existing home. Additionally, the location of the addition on the property will not cause a substantial detriment to the public good and will not substantially impair the intent and purpose of the zoning ordinance and master plan.
Okay. Any questions from the board on that?
Do you have anything further to add prior to the board asking questions?
No, nothing I can think of.
By all means.
When I visited the property today, I noticed that there were other properties along Black River Road that were close to the road.
Yes.
Would you consider that positive to the fact that this wouldn't be a detriment to the property?
Well, I certainly think it's in accordance with what's along the roadway. It's not deviating, and we're not encroaching any closer to the road.
Mhm.
So it really doesn't impact the visual corridor that is there.
Any other comments from the board?
I have a question.
Yes, Lou?
Because of the age of this house, does it have any historic designation in the past or at all?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know when it was built, but I've heard late 1900s.
1800.
1800.
200 years old?
Old.
Okay.
Early 1900, right? Late 1800. It's our best guess.
Didn't go in the basement to see what the
Turn of the
beams
century.
and stone foundation was like.
It is a stone foundation.
It is a stone foundation.
It is. Interesting.
Everyone's scared.
Joanna, you have anything you want to add?
No, I don't. I
Okay.
addressed everything in our review memo.
Okay. And Paul, anything more?
Nothing more.
No. I'll open it up again to the public for comments, questions. Seeing none, I think we are ready. Paul, Tom?
You might consider a motion to approve the variance application of the applicant as discussed this evening, with the standard conditions, the conditions set forth in Paul and Frank's reports, and think with the understanding it's effective this evening, so they can proceed effective immediately, provided they comply with all other requirements.
I just have a quick question. So, Paul, what were the comments that you made? Because I don't recall seeing...
The only one major one was that there'd be a concrete or stone step as you...
When you step out the back of the house, there's a door, and there should be a concrete slab to step on.
That's at the
rear of the addition.
The rear, okay, so...
Yes.
So the garage addition, or I guess that would be the mudroom
There's a pantry
area?
mudroom, and there's a door out of that pantry/mudroom that goes into the backyard.
And Mr. Farrar, you're fine with that? Okay.
It's one of those things that often the architect figures the engineer will do, and the engineer figures the architect will do. So, they like to have their own bailiwick.
So,
But the applicant has to build it.
So you're done with
that was the whole...
I'll make the motion.
Need a second?
Second.
Second.
Okay, roll call vote. Mayor Jenkins?
Aye.
Mr. Dickey?
Aye.
Mr. Streckall?
Aye.
Mr. Urias?
Aye.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Mr. DeGravine?
Aye.
Mr. Chadwick?
Aye.
Chairman Gutchess?
Aye.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank
Thank you very much.
Good luck with your project.
you. Yep.
Have a good evening.
I'll open it up to the board. Board have any comments? I'll start. Mayor, any comments?
I would like to meet with the master plan subcommittee immediately after this.
Okay.
So, and Tom and Paul, if you can stick around for that as well.
Yes.
And I'm Ms.
Joanna.
Slagle.
Joanna.
If you can stick around and report back to Frank.
Okay. Anybody else from the board have anything they'd like to talk about? All right. I guess we can have a well, let's talk about what we have. We got anything in the pipeline, Paul?
Not at the moment. I know
Not at the
some
moment.
things that are getting ready to land, but nothing yet.
Nothing yet.
Do we have a bakery yet?
I'm sorry?
A bakery?
We do not have a bakery yet.
We do not have a bakery.
There was a bump in the bakery. Oh. 2 24-inch pipes that go right through the building. Right through the addition. There's 2 24-inch storm drains that go right through where the addition is going to be.
Ooh.
Did Ken's put up the new lighting in the parking lot? Is that new or? I'm looking at it, I can't remember.
I know they had the approval. I don't know if they've actually installed it yet.
It doesn't look right. It still looks dark in there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think they did, and it's still dark.
Yeah.
So they haven't,
Yeah.
They've been tripping over themselves to try to get the documents together for the permit. I know the information came in a couple of weeks ago, but I just don't know if they have done it yet.
Well, okay. Well, then we need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Okay.
Aye.
Here. Don't expect a raise, Nick. It ain't happening.
Well, it's not
Another
even-
meeting scheduled.
You're in trouble.
Let's have a meeting scheduled.
Right now.
Right back.
We'll email you.